Multiple suicide attacks leave 18 dead.
We only managed to realize 76% of our revenue targets.
2017 budget, monitor and evaluate its execution. That's the message of the minister as correspondent examines the mode of expenditure.
We have reviewed everything and operationalized those directives.
Fast-track visa processing for foreign investors. Nigeria Immigration Service announces new measures. A very good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Ayinde Shuaga. With an allocation of 35% of the 7.441 trillion naira appropriation to capital expenditure, the 2017 budget is targeted at halting the current economic slowdown and stimulating growth. Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udo Udoma, at the public presentation of the Appropriation Act, urged the public to monitor and evaluate the execution of the budget in this fiscal year. Leah Katung Babatunde takes us through the federal government's plan to generate and spend revenue in the fiscal year.
2016 was a very, very challenged year, very challenged. And we only managed to realize 76% of our revenue targets. And this was actually principally because of the foreign exchange shortages that we had.
As a result, government took a cue from its decision on the 2017 budget by taking into account the widening gap of inequality, insurgency and insecurity, high unemployment rate, external shocks, as well as foreign exchange effect on the local currency and the economy. The budget projects revenue to rise to 5.08 trillion naira, all revenue 41.7% compared to 19% for the year 2016, and projected revenue expected from recoveries at 11%. Of the 7.441 trillion naira spending estimates for the year, 2.99 trillion naira is allocated for non-debt spending, 2.36 trillion naira capital expenditure, 1.66 trillion naira debt servicing, and 177.46 billion naira goes to provision to retire maturing bonds to local contractors.
I think we've significantly geared up our execution capabilities, and as we find the money, we will perform the budget.
Non-debt recurrent expenditure for the year will see personnel costs of MVAs account for 63% of expenditure, and the least is 1.3%, which serves as refund to special accounts. Informed by the need to open up economic space for viability through the provision of critical infrastructure, works, Power and Housing Ministry tops MVA allocations with 553.71 billion naira. Of interest, however, is the allocation of 350 billion naira to bridge the inequality gap under the Special Intervention Program of government.
So it's a significant improvement. All we can do is do two things. One is to ensure that those monies are actually spent on the projects and programs they were approved for, on the one hand. Then secondly, to ensure that we continue to build on this towards the future.
The National Assembly takes the largest chunk of statutory transfer put at 125 billion naira. It is expected that the deficit of 2.356 trillion naira, representing 2.18% of GDP, will be borrowed. 1.25 trillion naira from domestic sources and 1.07 trillion naira from external sources, while 35 billion naira is expected to be sourced through sales of government property and privatization proceeds. In Abuja, I'm Lekatun Babatunde.
Accounts and financial personnel of the Nigerian Army are undergoing a two-day training to keep them up to speed with best global standards. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the training is aimed at ensuring prudence and transparency.
As part of measures to reposition the nation's economy, particularly the financial sector, the federal government introduced the Treasury Single Account and the Integrated Paying System. These policies are meant to block leakages and ensure transparency in the utilization of the nation's resources. This training session for military accounts and financial staff is aimed at keeping them up to speed on these policies and other contemporary financial practices.
These measures were introduced into the Nigerian Army for proper accountability. It is on this note that it is worth to train our finance personnel on these new measures.
With different internal security operations across the country, effective management of scarce resources is said to be key to the provision of needed equipment and platforms.
Timely release of funds enables commanders to plan well.
The program with the theme enhancing the skill of Army finance and personnel for prudent application of financial resources towards a professional, responsive army is expected to enhance efficiency in the system. From the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The police says some of the suspected kidnappers of students of Nigerian Turkish College, Lagos, will be arraigned tomorrow, Tuesday. Force Public Relations Officer, Chief Superintendent of Police, Jimoh Moshood, stated this in Abuja while briefing journalists on the achievements of the police in the past few weeks. Edino Justice reports.
In January this year, government stormed the Nigerian Turkish College, Lagos, bored hole in the fence and kidnapped 3 pupils along with 5 others, demanding for millions of naira as ransom. But in a swift response, police arrested 2 of the masterminds. The first spokesperson said this: the arrest of kidnapped kingpin and Evans, the rescue of a priest in Imo State, were some of the major recent achievements.
3 principal suspects that were responsible were equally apprehended. The priest had been reunited with his family. The vehicle that he was traveling in before he was kidnapped was equally recovered. We are making progress in ensuring that every kidnap case is resolved.
He added that the relaunch last week of Operation Maximum Security along Abuja-Kaduna Expressway had started yielding results, as IGP Intelligence Response Unit has arrested 8 suspects, including buyers of stolen items.
On interrogation, I've confessed to so many kidnapping along these highways. Some other victims have equally been rescued from this gang, and virtually all these victims have identified all the suspects we are parading before you today.
While appealing to the public to continue to supply police information on crimes, assured Nigerians that the police is determined to bring crime rates to a 0 level. Edino Justice, NTA News.
And to consolidate on successes recorded by the police in arresting notorious kidnappers, the Nigeria Police has resolved to deploy more intelligence gathering and the use of helicopters. Force Public Relations Officer Jimoh Moshood said this on Good Morning Nigeria while joining other guests to discuss anti-kidnapping strategies. Lydia Sampson reports.
The guests are unanimous that to curb kidnapping and other crimes, there is the need to reconcile the issue of inequality and ensure correspondence between work and wealth in order to stop the misguided admiration of criminals. The police is optimistic that with renewed engagement with the public, this is the beginning of the end for kidnappers in Nigeria.
We build on these successes to ensure that we rein in all the remaining kidnappers. And no doubt on Kaduna Abuja Road, like a part of your news earlier, we've arrested 8 suspects now that were responsible for coming out to kidnap people.
Apart from kidnapping, other guests stress the need for a holistic approach to tackle all kinds of crimes to prevent criminals from changing trade and help reassure citizens on security.
Intelligence is very important. And then, of course, community need to participate. And then, of course, you need government also to do a number of things. Why do we have this? At the bottom of this is the inequality that is in society.
The level of ostentation that we see in our society meets wants by the plenty gives people a lot of ideas. So beginning with our household staffs, we need to make sure that people we engage to work for us are people that come from backgrounds that are checked.
They suggest invisible policing by more proactive use of state-of-the-art equipments, intelligence gathering, as well as prosecution of criminals to serve as deterrent. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Borno State Police Command has confirmed that 12 civilians and 5 female suicide bombers died in a multiple suicide bomb attack on Sunday night at Kofar village, Dalori, on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Maimuna Garba reports.
The multiple suicide bomb attacks occurred Sunday night at 3 different locations within Kofa community, 8 kilometers away from Maiduguri. According to eyewitness accounts, the first suicide bomber detonated her IED near a mosque when worshippers were performing prayers at 8:30 in the evening, killing herself and 7 persons. The second suicide bomber found her way into a residential building and killed a family of 5, including herself and another suicide bomber. Few minutes later, 2 other suicide bombers also detonated their IEDs within the same vicinity, killing themselves alone. Confirming the attacks, the police in Maiduguri say 11 persons that sustained injuries have been taken to hospital for medical attention, stressing that the command is on top of the situation.
17 persons, including the 5 female suicide bombers, died in the explosions, the multiple explosions, while 11 civilians sustained various degrees of injuries and were promptly rushed to University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. The area for now is calm because immediately the incident occurred, the command mobilized our EOD team to stabilize and render the area safe.
Normalcy has been restored to the area and the police warned residents to remain alert always. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has established the first ever information and call center for emergencies and contact to the Nigerian Army on this number 193 and email address na.callcenter@army.mil.ng. The opening of the call center is in its bid to improve civil-military relations and open its doors for Nigerians to contact it if in the case of any security breach. Director of Public Relations of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Sani Kukashika Usman, confirmed this in its zero-tolerance stance against human rights violation. The hotline and email service would operate at 24-hour service. Going to security matters now, former Governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suzuam, and 2 others have been granted bail by the Federal High Court in Abuja with a bond of 250 million naira each. Correspondent Aliyu Tukur reports that Suzuam and the 2 others are facing 32 fresh count charges brought against them by the federal government through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation.
Former Governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suzuam, who is standing trial along with his former Commissioner of Finance and former accountant to the Benue State Government House, accused of diverting more than 900 billion naira funds belonging to the state government subsidy reinvestment program, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Granting the bail, Presiding Judge Justice Gabriel Kolawale ordered that each defendant shall produce 1 surety in the sum of 250 million naira. The prosecution counsel Aminu Alilu urged the court to transfer the case to Benue State, saying the crisis in the state has subsided. However, defense counsel objected to the application on grounds that the crisis is still tensed in the state. He added that there is every possibility of the matter degenerating, especially if the supporters of the former governor clash with that of the present governor. Justice Kolawale, however, allowed the case to continue in Abuja. The case has been adjourned to the 10th, 17th, 19th and 25th of October for trial. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Similarly, the Niger State High Court has slated September 11 for the trial of alleged corruption charges against former State Governor Muazu Babangida Aliyu and PDP governorship candidate in the 2015 general elections, Mohammed Umar Nasko. This follows the dismissal of the second accused person's preliminary objection, predicated to be on the court's lack of jurisdiction to entertain the matter. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports that the court ordered that the state PDP chairman, Tanko Beji, who was included in the second amended charge, be remanded in prison custody pending the ruling on his bail application.
Justice Muhammad Ali Mayaki ruled that it is on record that the court did not direct that the accused persons be put in record before granting the application for leave to amend the prosecution force amended charge, saying leave to amend the charge is not necessary. The court, while describing the amended charge as competent, says the preliminary objection of the second accused person does not exist and therefore dismissed the notice of the preliminary objection predicated on jurisdiction.
It was merely meant to delay the trial. So basically, we agree with the Honorable Court's ruling.
We will confide with our client and we'll look at the position of the law properly and know when to take the appropriate step.
The EFCC Council, however, drew the attention of the court to their second amended charge, urging the court to grant leave and accept. The court, having no objection from parties, granted the second amended charge and read the charges to the three accused persons, to which they pleaded not guilty. The bail application of the Niger State PDP chairman Tanko Beji was argued. The court, however, ordered that the first and third accused persons, Dr. Maazu Babangida Aliyu and Umar Mohammed Nasko, should continue to enjoy bail under the initial conditions, and ordered that the second accused person, Tanko Beji, be remanded in prison custody pending the ruling on his bail application, scheduled for 23rd of June 2017.
Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Up ahead, domesticating the Sustainable Development Goals as they relate to legislative procedure. After this break.
I've waited so long for this game. There's a problem with this car.
What's happening?
No. Guys,
do this thing now. I'm not missing the match. You like going? Hello, hey!
Nice. Wanna try.
Oh.
Hold on, guys. Glow can actually borrow me data. So let's get back to watching it. I told you.
Borrow me data from Glow. Dial *321#, even if your account balance is 0.
The largest data network. Glow. Grandmasters of data.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Standard, we sign. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office where near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Hello, I just got back from the States and I need a SIM so I can have a number.
You need.
What's nyafu?
If you join MTN, you go enjoy bonus to bracket.
What's bracket?
See, any bonus we then give you, you go fit to do anything where you like with them. Chatting, browsing, texting, calling, to any network for Nigeria, and no condition at all. Completely free dot. Everything in Baku.
What's buckle?
If you buy the charge card 100 naira, they go give you 600 naira. If you call the charge 200 naira, as a big baby to you is now, they will give you 1,200 naira.
Hey, brother, show me the way now.
Get an MTN SIM, register it, and get 6 times of all your recharges every time you recharge, and much more.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
This is my second daughter. That's the one after that one. That's my granddaughter there.
I have never seen my grandchildren.
Mama, I would like to see your face again.
What's your son's name?
John Luca. Yeah.
Is that your son?
Hey, Papa, you don't tell when
yes.
I see your face.
Yes. Is that you?
Following the resolution of the House of Representatives mandating the House Committee on Healthcare Services to conduct a 2-day public hearing on the need to investigate the compliance rate of health maintenance organizations to the National Health Insurance Scheme contributions and utilization of funds by the healthcare providers and inhuman treatment of enrollees, the following stakeholders are invited to submit memoranda: Ministry of Health, CMD of Teaching Hospitals, among others. All memoranda should be in 1 soft copy and 50 hard copies and submitted to the Deputy Director and Clerk of the Committee, Mrs. Joyce Anyete Umerin, in room 303, House of Representatives Wing, not later than 20 June 2017. The public hearing holds from 21st to 22nd June 2017. Venue, Conference Room 028, House of Representatives. Time, 10 a.m. daily. Honorable Deacon Chike John Okafor, Chairman, Announcer.
The Future Assured project of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is carrying out free medical screening and distribution of food items at various IDP camps while ensuring the economic empowerment of women through training and skill acquisition. In recognition of her efforts, wives of governors have lent their voices and support.
In Kogi State, we feel the impact of Future Assured, especially in women and children.
The Future Assured program of Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, the wife of the President, has been very assuring and still reassuring in Sokoto State. It has impacted positively in the areas of humanity, especially women and children.
Supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Welcome back to the news. Towards the domestication and appreciation of the Sustainable Development Goals as they relate to legislative procedure, a workshop organized by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, in conjunction with the National Institute for Legislative Studies, NIS, has held. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
The Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The agenda for year 2030 provides clear guidelines and targets for all countries to adopt in accordance with their own priorities. Deputy Country Director, United Nations Development Programme, highlights the key roles parliamentarians can play through exhaustive work of their aides in realizing the SDGs.
Parliaments can bring the SDGs to the attention of the public and the media and their constituencies, thereby encouraging accountability at all levels.
How many of us can actually walk into our principal's office and say, sir, this issue of SDGs, I can help. I need you to sit with me and discuss with me, or I need you to give me this document, or I need to find that document. Very few.
What lessons have we learned from the failures of the MDGs in Nigeria and most of Africa?
I think what
we need to do as parliament is to sit down and customize and domesticate the SDGs to become national development documents.
Based on lessons learned in the implementation of the Millennium Development Goals (MDGs) in Nigeria, this forms part of proactive measures to engage government institutions in identifying national priorities for implementation of the SDGs. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has introduced a 48-hour visa processing service for foreign investors. Comptroller General of the Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandide, made this known in Abuja while announcing other measures. Murjanatu Adam Said reports.
The federal government announced the visa on arrival policy a few months ago to ease doing business in Nigeria, so as to encourage foreign investors to come into the country. It is to facilitate that and also comply with the executive order on transparency in MDAs, which mandates them to publish lists of all requirements for obtaining products and services.
Ensuring that we process the issue of advanced passenger information. So even before somebody arrives here, coming into Nigeria, we know who he is, where he's going to, and we know his antecedents.
The Comptroller General of Immigration, Mohammed Babandede, used the event to clear the air on passport booklets and other services.
Have done is review all the services we give to the public. Issuance of visa, passport, clearance at the ports, including airports and land border, resident permit for people who want to reside in our territory. We have reviewed everything and operationalized those directives.
He, however, said the new regime will quicken the process of securing visa for genuine business people coming into the country. On the ongoing recruitment exercise by the Nigeria Immigration Service, the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Bello Dambazau, and the Comptroller General, Nigeria Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, said the exercise will be free, fair, and transparent to all candidates. From the headquarters of the Nigeria Immigration Service in Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
The federal government says it will continue to accommodate stranded Africans and refugees. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, said this during the distribution of food items at the refugees transit camp in Yanya, Gwandara. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
The delegation on arrival at the community located a few kilometers away from the federal capital territory was received by occupants of the transit camp. After paying tributes to the refugees and assured them of continuous support, representatives from ECOWAS and other development partners handed over the items to the leadership of the camp.
We have these people at heart, and we care about them, and as the theme of this year's Refugee Day, so we're here to pay our solidarity with them.
It's for us to make sure that our member states will have prosperity, that the ECOWAS Commission will make policies that will help the sub-region to grow.
We need the solidarity of every country and all society to make sure that we find a durable solution for people to live in dignity and in peace.
Statistics shows that there are at least 65 million refugees in the world.
I was facing a lot of challenges. I thank God with Nigerian government.
As we all know in Africa, Nigeria, they play a big role. We call them the big brothers of Africa. Though they are facing their own challenges, we talk of the IDPs, but still they pick up to still meet up with our own challenges.
The theme for this year's celebration is We Stand Together. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it has delivered more than 200 trucks of meal food items to internally displaced persons in the Northeast. Director General of the agency, Mustafa Meihaja, disclosed this shortly after inspecting milling facilities in Kano. Sani Bashiru reports.
Inspecting the facilities in Kano, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mustapha Mehaja, said federal government is partnering 3 million industry to ensure that the IDPs in the Northeast are being provided with necessary assistance under a special intervention scheme. He said currently about 200 trucks of the food items have been delivered for onward distribution to IDPs in Yola, Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe, and Yobe states. Mustafa also disclosed that more than 8 billion naira was earmarked by the federal government to ensure the success of the program, noting that measures have been put in place to avoid diversion of the relief materials.
Food diversion is a history. What we have a very well-planned scheme whereby all our products in 10 trucks are properly guided with armed policemen from the point of takeoff to the last destination.
Mustafa Mehaja expressed appreciation with the quality of the job by the milling factories in Kano, as he also commended security agencies for their support toward the success of the exercise. In Kano, Sani Basiru, NTA News.
Renowned Islamic scholar Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi has appealed to Nigerians, especially youths, to desist from utterances capable of disintegrating Nigeria and rather commit to the teachings of the religion for a better society. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukun reports that the Islamic scholars said this at the closing of the 2017 Tafsir in Kaduna.
The crowd is mammoth. The creed and intention is the same as Muslims from within and outside Nigeria converged on the Murtala Muhammad Square, Kaduna, for the annual Tafsir closing by Sheikh Dahir Usman Bauchi. Sayyid Ali Dahir Bauchi recites from chapter 62 of the glorious Quran, followed by its exegesis by the erudite scholar. The Islamic clergy admonished Nigerians to shun divisive utterances capable of breaching the peace in Nigeria. He also called on Muslims to intensify prayers for economic recovery of the nation. Worshippers, including the Secretary to the Bauchi State Government, former Governor of Kaduna State, Mukhtar Malanyeru, lent credence on the call for all to promote peaceful coexistence.
The call to the Muslim Ummah is just to unite themselves so that Muslim Ummah will be one and strong, united.
We should live in peace with one another, and then we should continue to respect each other, and then we should continue to do our things in a lawful way.
Special prayer was also offered for sustainable peace in Nigeria and safe return of President Muhammadu Buhari. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukun, NTA News.
The National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, has said that the appearance of the first astronomical lunar crescent for the month of June 2017, which signifies the end of Ramadan fast, will be recorded in Nigeria on 25th June 2017 between the hours of 6:29 p.m. and 8:40 p.m. In a press statement, Head Media and Corporate Affairs of the agency, Dr. Felix Ale, said the first appearance of the moon can only be sighted with naked eyes given a very cloudless sky without any atmospheric disturbance, while the first lunar crescent can be best sighted with the aid of charged coupled device imaging, astronomical telescope, or any optical astronomy instrument. He explained that the proper sighting of the crescent will be officially announced by His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, to all Muslims in line with Islamic tradition. The space agency explained that the first astronomical lunar crescent on the 25th of June 2017 between 6:29 p.m. and 8:40 p.m. will have Port Harcourt, Adamawa, Maiduguri, Taraba, and Damaturu as first to witness the appearance of the first young lunar crescent at about 6:29 p.m. concurrently to 7:20 p.m., while the lunar crescent will be sighted lastly in Sokoto State between 7:49 p.m. to 8:40 p.m. Other states will experience the lunar crescent between the estimated time of 6:29 p.m. and 8:40 p.m., the 25th of June 2017. We now go over to Lagos for more stories, and Ademola is our guide.
Thank you, Ainde. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. A 3-day workshop on a new national maritime transport policy for Nigeria has commenced in Lagos. This is under the auspices of the International Maritime Organization in collaboration with the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. Tunde Saiki has the details.
The evolution of the Nigerian maritime business dates back to the pre-colonial era. Despite her enormous endowment with over 857 kilometers coast and over 3,000 inland waterways with 6 active port complexes and over 100 terminals, coupled with 4,000 ocean-going vessels, the country has no national maritime transport policy to show for it. This left a policy gap in the maritime subsector. It's against this background that stakeholders decide to meet to work out a desirable policy for the country.
All of these players are interlinked and interwoven. Their roles are interlinked and interwoven. And so we must have a harmonized position. Therefore, we identified that there is a gap. And we sought help from the International Maritime Organization, which got us professionals.
The Secretary General, International Maritime Organization, IMO, Kitak Lim, represented by Head African Section, IMO, William Azu, says Nigeria, with its rich maritime endowment and international standard maritime policy, will go a long way to boost the sub-regional maritime operations.
We're trying to assist the country to fill that gap. In the new ways of doing things with the sustainable development goals, we are assisting the administration to pick aspects of these strategies that they can use to build into.
Also, as part of efforts at regional collaboration, the Director General, NIMASA, also played host to the Director General of Ghana Maritime Authority, Kwame Owusu, where vital issues on how to develop the West African maritime industry were discussed. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
The Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, has been honored with the award of the CEO of the year 2016 by Tel Magazine. Ken Igbeluhe reports that other notable Nigerians also received awards for their immense contribution to national development in a colorful ceremony in Lagos.
It was the maiden edition of Tel Award for Excellence. The award, owners of the magazine say, is to inspire individuals and organizations in the public and private sectors to continue diligently with their efforts in adding value to the society regardless of challenges, and be hopeful that there is always light at the end of the tunnel.
NCC is become a reference point for telecom regulation, not only in Nigeria but globally.
The Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communications Commission, Professor Umar Dambata, received the third CEO of the Year award for the year 2016. The NCC boss, who dedicated the award to the staff of the commission, said it will spur him and the staff to work harder towards the fulfillment of the commission's mandate of ensuring the delivery of world-class telecommunication services to the people of Nigeria.
We have noticed some improvement in quality of service, but it is still far below the stipulated standard for the key performance indicators that we have deliberately put in place in order to ensure that quality of service improves.
It's an honor well deserved, which is to encourage us to do more, because it's one thing to achieve success, it's a different thing to sustain it and take it to a higher level, and we are committed to doing that.
It's a call to more service to the customers, which are the subscribers of telecom service in the country.
Other recipients include wife of the President, Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, and the late editor and founder of Newswatch magazine, amongst others. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Place in town is right here on your phone. Welcome to the Glow Cafe. Come on in. It's buzzing in the Zanga. In here, anything is possible. Check out the menu, and here are some of the odds items. Over here you can buy credit, buy data, share data, borrow voice and data, give data. Give it to him now, be kind. Then there is Glow Music Cafe. More than 2 million Nigerian and Africa land back. Glow has teamed up with the world's largest gaming catalog to bring you the Glow Game Cafe. And that's just a start. Check out the Glow Video Cafe. Countless clips, comedy and sports, direct to your device. And when you thought things couldn't get easier, there's personal account management and Glow customer care right at your fingertips.
You can get everything at Glow.
Simply text BUZZ to 105 to download the Glow Cafe app or go to your app store and search for Glow Cafe, the largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Here's your order.
I think this is not exactly what we ordered. I ordered a Coca-Cola Zero.
No problem. I can give you 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a great Coca-Cola taste. Here's the Coca-Cola Zero you ordered. Do it again. You still look like you need a Coca-Cola. Why don't you sneak inside your bag? Wherever you feel, together be real, together enjoy.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can try.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts and lasts and lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1. Sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp? Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where is the pulp?
Fiber Life Pulpy Orange, now in your neighborhood.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup? Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Xiaomi A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
In Ramadan, every one of us starts our day with an idea in mind. An idea to share our food with the less fortunate. Some people try to hold on to it, but the day has no mercy. This time, don't just think of being a better person. Do it. Make your thoughts happen this Ramadan with Lipton. Ramadan Karim from Lipton.
A warm welcome back to NTA Network News, and now it's time for business news. Experts analyzing allocations in the 2017 budget call for higher spending in health and education to bridge the gap in the both sectors. Details on business news with Joy Uzo.
Hello and welcome to Business News. Economic analysts have called on the government to spend more on health and education to bridge the gap in those sectors of the economy. Reacting to the breakdown of the 2017 budget in Abuja, they suggest that these sectors remain very critical to development and should be given priority attention.
If Nigerians are important, the health element of the budget should get a significant amount. So I'm looking to see what percent do we have for health. According to Abuja Declaration, which we signed up for, 15% should go for health. We know it's not been that. So we're looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
Reacting to this, Director Budget Office of the Federation said all tiers of government must step up efforts to match that of the federal government to make these sectors feel more impact of funding.
People evaluate Nigeria's spending on those sectors, health and education. They forget that Nigeria is not just run by the federal government's budget. All the 36 states, the Federal Capital Territory, all the local governments also prepare budgets and they spend on education and health. So if you really want to understand what Nigeria spends on education, because all of those, standards, UNESCO, WHO, all those benchmarks, they are for benchmarks for national spending, not spending by one tier of government.
In the 2017 budget, 55.61 billion naira was allocated to health, while 151.92 billion naira went to education. In other developments, pensioners in Nigeria will soon begin to enjoy better and affordable healthcare services in the country, as plans are underway to get them enlisted in the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangements Directorate, PTAD, Sharon Ikazo, stated this during an interview with journalists in Abuja.
One of the things PTAD is initiating is for our pensioners to be on the National Health Insurance Scheme, because they need it more than those who are working and earning salaries. So we're initiating talks with the Ministry of Health and the National Health Insurance Scheme so we can get all our pensioners on the National Health Insurance Scheme, because this would be one of the greatest things this country would do for their past heroes.
This came as a reaction to an appeal by the chairman, Police Pension Fund, Fidelis Oyakilo, made a priority should be placed on prompt payment of pensioners.
Any money you pay which is delayed, first of all, you have shortchanged the beneficiary. First of all, that money could have gone into the bank and yielded interest. Secondly, some who are sick, who need drugs and the money is not available for them to purchase drugs, could die even before the money comes out. So you find all in all, they are losers if they are not paid when they ought to have been paid.
Trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Monday saw a continued upward trend as the NSE All-Share Index gained by 0.96% to close at 34,135.10 basis points, while market capitalization stood at 11.803 trillion naira. Next is more graphic details. Finally, oil prices steadied on Monday, pausing for breath after coming under pressure over the past month from rising production in the United States, Libya and Nigeria. Brent crude futures were trading 9 cents higher at $47.46 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures were higher 7 cents at 44.81% per barrel. Both benchmarks are down some 13% since late May, when producers, led by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, extended the pledge to cut output by 1.8 million barrels per day for an extra 9 months. Analysts said a steady rise in U.S. production, along with output increases in Libya and Nigeria, which are exempted from the OPEC cuts, were undermining the OPEC-led efforts in the near term. In May, OPEC supplies jumped on the back of recovering output from Libya and Nigeria. And that's it on Business News. The bulletin continues shortly.
Thank you, Joy. And for more economic news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says the extensive engagement with oil-producing communities by the federal government is yielding results, with over 12% drop in pipeline vandalism recorded. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Undu Ugamadu, says the NNPC Financial Operations Report for the month of April shows that downstream pipeline sabotage decreased from 94 points in March to 82 in April. The statement adds that within the period, NNPC maintained adequate stock of over 1.2 billion litres of petrol with an average daily national gas production of 242.32 billion cubic feet. However, gas supply to power plants slightly decreased in the period under review. In recognition of his commitment to improving the living standard of his people, Governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade, has received the Tale Magazine Governor of the Year Award. This is barely 2 weeks after they received Vanguard's Governor of the Year Award. Uduagetim reports.
While presenting the award at the Civic Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, President of Tale Magazine, Mr. Noza Igiabo, said the award to Governor Ayade was well deserved. He said Ayade's leadership style has shown that with the right kind of leaders, Nigeria can indeed be a great country we all dream of. Mr. Igiabo noted that in less than 2 years in office, Governor Ayade has already become a role model in the country. Chairman of the award committee, Chief Babs Alasa, described Governor Ayade as a epitome of excellence in governance who deserved the Modern Tale Magazine Governor of the Year Award. Governor Ayade, while receiving the award, said it was challenging to deliver democratic dividends to his people under the harsh realities of the current economic recession. The governor, represented by his deputy, Professor Ivaresu, dedicated the award to the people of Cross River State because of their support to his administration, stressing that the state is witnessing massive infrastructural transformation.
Remember that it wasn't quite long ago that Vanguard newspapers gave the same award of Best Governor of the Year. And soon after, we now have, a Tale Magazine, a very reputable newspaper, also giving the same award. It just shows that Cross Riverians need to really know that what they have is gold.
This award, others noted, is an impetus for Governor Ayade to do more for the people of Cross River State.
It means that his effort is being noticed by the rest of the country, and this award will serve to spur him to do much more for the state.
Coming ahead, we have a bit on the global scene and sports. Stay with us.
The FIFA Confederations Cup Russia 2017 on Kwese Free Sports for the fan.
A hectic lifestyle or overeating can cause a burning pain in your chest. That's heartburn. Take Gaviscon. One dose relieves in 3 minutes to soothe the pain of heartburn. It goes straight to the source to work for hours, providing long-lasting relief.
That's why I recommend Gaviscon.
I recommend Gaviscon. Gaviscon, fast relief you can actually feel.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped. We are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
And now the last stretch of NTA Network news. Malian security forces gunned down 5 militants who carried out attack at a resort near Bamako as death toll rises to 79 in London fire disaster. Let's join Gabriel Odu on Global Tidbits.
2 tourists were killed in an attack on a luxury resort outside the Malian capital, Bamako. Reports say security forces in a counter-operation killed 5 militants and rescued at least 30 guests. In the United Kingdom, London Metropolitan Police have confirmed 79 people dead after the fire at Grenfell Tower. Meanwhile, the UK Prime Minister Theresa May has condemned a Finbury's Park attack, describing it as sickening. 1 man was killed and at least 10 injured. And in Portugal, 12 people have survived one of the deadliest fires by seeking refuge in a water tank after access to their village was impossible due to the blaze. About 62 people are reported killed by the fire, many of them inside their cars. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Dende Sunny is our guide on sports update.